at the Knitting Factory in Brooklyn at the first ever New York City Animal Rights Music Festival. We're here with Rachel Lynn. She is one of our performers. Rachel, how long have you been vegan?
It will be 7 years in October.
So you have a very beautiful track that is about, animals in the slaughterhouse. When did you write that?
I wrote that a couple of years ago, actually, and it was a really cool way to sort of make art my activism. We put out a lyric video for it that was created by all vegan artists, so it really became like a community project, sort of. It's got a lot of visual art in it, so it's a lot of visual artists, and we approached different outlets, different vegan outlets and publications to sort of get the word out about it, and there was a really positive response, and it sort of just validates this whole artist activism.
So is that track on the CD?
That track's actually not on the CD. It's a single all by itself. It is, all the proceeds from the single are being donated on an ongoing basis to Mercy for Animals. So it's sort of its own little entity, and I've got download cards with me today for $1, so people can just sort of be donating on an ongoing basis.
Well, it's a beautiful song. Guys, definitely go check out Rachel Lynn on YouTube. It's a beautiful video, beautiful song, and we're going to hear her perform it tonight. And thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And rhinos who are being poached at a great rate, and this won the Global March for Elephants and Rhinos contest, which allowed me and a friend to go to Africa for 2 weeks and see them in their natural habitat. And I never want to go in a zoo again, I'll tell you that, because once you see them running free, you just it's never the same, right? So this is called "Where Will the Giants Roam?" Thank you.
I'm here with Qusic, and he is going to be our DJ for this evening. Qusic, thank you so much for joining us. How long have you been vegan?
I've been vegan since last November, so November 2017.
And how long have you been an activist?
Around the same time. I got into it in Manhattan. There was like this huge thing for, they were holding like an art exhibit, and there was a bunch of mice underneath like this floorboard. And so that was like my first real demonstration, but Brezzo and a couple other buddies walked in, and I was like, oh, because they thought I was working with the guy. I was like trying to tend to the mice. It was kind of like a secret agent, but yeah, I just like wanted to make sure they were all right. So they added me to a bunch of Facebook and like vegan events and stuff, and then I just started from there. started coming out to like more demonstrations, reaching out to people, and then I got in touch with Ed Sullivan. That's how I got introduced to all this. So.
Cool. So the type of music that you do, I love it. I think it's really cool, and you call it wildlife music, and every track kind of correlates to an animal in the wild. When did you start creating this?
Good question. I actually started a while back. I was actually in college making music. I went to a college that didn't really work out for me, but the music kind of remained, and so like I'd be posting on and off line, like just different tracks, and eventually I realized like I could put it to a different use, and I once I had become vegan, I started putting it towards animals. So all my tracks were renamed from the past. They were kind of remixed, remastered, and then I just brought them onto my new SoundCloud channel.
Cool. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this event?
Probably 1,000, and I'm also 1,000 nervous. This is my first performance, but
you're going to be great. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Artists without true people, this would not happen tonight. All the money goes to Timberland, all the money goes to all these incredible causes. This is what we need to be raising money for, folks. All this tax paying go to all this random shit we don't need. You know, raise money for the right reasons. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna put some tunes on.
So I whip out my phone and start cold texting. The only way I can think of to disappear without losing my place in line, but when I look back up. Register to pay for his fruit salad. And I'm left standing, dumbfounded and alone.
I'm here with Steve Grant. Steve, you are from Florida.
Yes.
And how long did it take you to get here today?
I would say about 2.5 hours or so, and then add another hour. So I guess 3 hours.
By plane.
Yes, plane, then car, and then a bunch of other madness of vehicles. Yes.
But so you'd pretty much do anything for the animals.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
And how long have you been vegan?
Vegan, I'd say about going on 6 years now. Yeah.
How long have you been an activist?
Activist, probably about 8 years. Yeah. Even outside of veganism as well. So I'm on like all topics across the board, full spectrum of what needs to be done. So yeah.
And you do a lot with Anonymous for the Voiceless and the Cubes. How long have you been doing the Cube work?
Pretty much when it started. I mean, once we saw the expansion of the Anonymous for the Voiceless blow up, since the South Florida chapter started popping up, I'd say almost 2 years, or maybe roughly 1.5 years, I think. Yeah, about that. Yeah.
And you're going to perform one of your tracks tonight that also has a music video on YouTube, and it's there's a lot of like animal footage. And how has the feedback for that video been?
Feedback from that video has actually been surprisingly pretty tremendous, because a lot of people that normally follow me for other reasons that has nothing to do with veganism, or even understanding how the animal agriculture or the industry of how the treatment of animals are in the first place, they finally got to see that, and they were struck so hard, and they never really realized that, because they've researched and they've been exposing many other issues of what we deal as just the people in general in the system. And for them to see me connect on that level, that was like a big whoa kickback, and it was able to actually connect with a lot of people and kind of like shift them in the right way to when they start making, you know, more health conscious decisions, and also make the compassionate connection with these animals. Because like I said before, like they don't, unless you're able to see it. That's why I made the video like that, and that's also why I made the video like about 7 minutes long. I didn't want it to be a regular song 2 or 3 minutes. I wanted to actually draw this out, because I wanted them to really realize that this is a very long, you know, brutal, drawn out situation for these creatures, and you know, 7 minutes is nothing compared to what they really get to go through. Yeah.
Steve, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to see you perform, and thank you again for coming up and being a part of this.
That's real, and I appreciate everything you've done, and as well as Philly. I'm sure I'll see him in a few, whatever he's at. And yo, really amazing that you guys were able to create this event and bring someone like me, shooting all the way over from South Florida, you know, just to do this for this bigger cause. It's beyond all of us. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
What up, Brooklyn? Y'all look gorgeous. Damn, who was that? Oh, that okay. You got some pipes. I fuck with that. What y'all doing after this?
Saving animals.
Oh, okay. Well, that should be daily 24/7. That's for sure. So let me ask the dumb question of the night: who's vegan? Respect. Yo, shout out to my brother right here. Came all the way from Connecticut. Anonymous is in the building, and I want to give another shout out to Anonymous for the voiceless. And every activist in the streets that's doing the work that needs to be done. That being said, let's go. Yeah, bloody animals. Eon floods, eyelashes, feet and fly trap, catching a fly, landing on the face of a young cat, as it's twitching on its last leg, gasping from its last breath, close to man, laying where compassion is dead. Yeah, she took her last look at the butcher, they push her in the wooden box slot. No one's looking, who knows where they took her. Terrified and shooken, they tug and pull her off the truck. Still alive, swinging from a hook is where they wanna put her. This is the real slaughterhouse, where they love murder, curdling blood squirting. It's just the blurred, and then behind the burgundy curtains, where we kill them, we hurting them. We shove them in the mud, shove them in the dirt, murking them. Yeah, it's gonna be another cold summer. Had a rock in the face with 5 million volts jumping, and they still kicking on the floor with their skulls punctured and clubbing them at high speed. Captain Bolt Stunner, bolt cutters, all their horns cutting them off raw. While they struggle and solve, then we hauling them off. It's the same as yesterday, and it's the same as tomorrow. It's just another regular day on factory farm. And these birds ain't chirping, it's treating from how we treating them. They're getting sick and weak for diseases from where we keeping them, and then we deep beaking them, make them territorial, claustrophobic and cannibalistic, and then we eating them. We leaving them with no choice, no option left, no voice. The voice box ripped out with their esophagus, dropped on the floor to get mopped up by the slaughterers. Rape rats, long points, this is bestiality. This is all to the point where the truth beats reality. Pumping with the drugs, sex and death, blood mixed with pus, abscess bust, cut the udder and keep the calories. We drinking fluids where various germs are flowing, so pass a warm glass of that parent tuberculosis, Crohn's disease, leukemia. Swear I was joking, and there we get a street home, but we too scared to expose.
Compassion's what I believe in.
17 and you still eating meat? Sheep so obviously want to extra show your hand and the cheese went deep. But a cow plus milk got your earrings built. Me and these boy can't let the bird build some. God use all to keep your earth balance on tilt. I told y'all we need other plans. Let me see them hands, y'all. I told y'all we need other plans. Oh, we need other plans. I told y'all we need other plans. Oh, we need other plans. Yeah. I told y'all we need other plans. Oh, we need other plans. I told y'all we need other plans. I told y'all we need other plans. Oh, we need other plans. I told y'all we need other plans. Oh, we need other plans. Anybody who knows what we need other plans. Let's go. Wanna know why you feeling funny? You should learn about the things you put in your tummy. Looking like a mummy cause you eat like a dummy. See you burn old flesh, spending all your money. For me, you see I'm intellectual. All I need is country stew with my vegetables. Turn the heat up, spare against the roast. And I spread avocado on my eggless toast. I don't really eat lunch, but when I wake up I have fruits for my breakfast. And 10 non-vegans, when they hear strikes, they don't think I'm talking reckless. Everything I'm saying can be so true. Bean curd is the only thing I go to. A lot of protein stuffed in my tofu. Got me feeling super saiyan like I'm Goku. Feeling so good. That's all I eat is idle. Don't offer me a plane if I got pressure bus, cause it ain't vital. Everybody backwards, get the move forward. They living in the spiral. We gon' post it on YouTube, we gon' post it on the gram until it go viral. Yeah, I told y'all we need our plans. I told y'all we need our plans. Oh, we need our plans. I told y'all we need our plans. Oh, we need our plans. I told y'all we need our plans. Oh, we need our plans. I told y'all we need our plans. Anonymous puzzle voices, yeah. I told y'all we need our plans. Oh, we need our plans. I told y'all we need our plans. Oh, we need our plans, yeah. I told y'all we need our plans. Yeah. When I eat this no good, I work down on the brakes and avoiding that bill. Eating dead bodies, being causing cancer, heavily. I watch conspiracies, decided for my pedigree. Plants been a remedy for energy, a memory, spiritual synergy. Living ways heavily. Nothing is hereditary, but the whore in the plate. Many learn too late, gain too much weight. Not to see fast food is really just bait. To give you pills and surgery until you're fake. Being vegan don't make you brave. You can't track of all the about weeks again. Be wise when you trolling my page. Yes, I'm a vegan, but I slaughter on stage. Eating cucumbers, giving followers some praise. Brushing my hair, put all of the waves.
I'm here with Supercomposure. Supercomposure, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this event?
10, absolutely. Super excited.
And you're all set up and you're ready to go. What are we going to be hearing from you tonight?
We just went to the sound check. Everything's ready to go. We'll be hearing a set of original music with a strong animal rights message.
And how long have you been vegan?
When vegan 2000.
So you've been vegan for a while. And how long have you been an activist?
I've been an active activist as of recent. There's been a surge of activism, and it's been really incredible. And I've been active for at least a couple of years now.
Okay, awesome. Well, you're the guy who shows up at the cubes with like the suit and everything, and you look really professional and put together. So we appreciate you here. We appreciate your activism, and thank you so much for joining us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Spread the message. Fight for the animals. This is an obligation.
if you were talking to somebody about not eating animals anymore, maybe switching up to a plant-based diet, and they're like, hold up, you eat vegan? Nah, I can't go vegan, man. Vegans are weak. What? This is what I would say to that. Chasing the summer, you be coming with a whole team. Begin machine guns, whipping up a rocket scene. Stood a break, point in that pass it. Not giving up, that lactic acid. Now you can tell by the crazy look on my face. I'm going psycho, propping up the bass. Came to get strong, came to get a taste. Regulate shake, regulate waste. So take it 100, don't make the day waste. Get your posture proper now.
I'm here with Neil Cohn. He's another one of our performers. Neil, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we've interviewed you before, but I'm going to ask you this question again. How long have you been vegan?
I guess it's about 18 years now, so I'll give it 18 more years and see how I feel to decide whether I want to stick with it or not.
And how long have you been using your music as your vegan activism?
Probably at least that long or longer. Back in 19, somewhere around there. I thought it would be cool. We used to do a lot of DIY stuff and make flyers and pass them out. Anti-meat, anti-this, and I did a lot of PETA stuff back then because there weren't as many groups. And now there's just an amazing amount of groups, an amazing amount of activism coming from all different angles, and everyone's putting their own spin on, the same concept is that, animals are not ours and we're here to protect them. But we used to do it with flyers, and we used to put stickers on, meat in the supermarket and flyers and go to McDonald's and, fuck shit up at McDonald's and, take it to the streets. Pretty much.
Some real punk shit.
Very punk aesthetic. Yeah, that's how it was done back then. And now, I'm kind of doing the same thing, but now we have a lot of social media stuff and different ways of doing it and different ways of connecting with people that are doing the same thing. And it's cool because especially this is we're all coming together for the common good, all different kinds of music, every way that we think about activism is all kind of converging. So I'm happy about it. I'm glad to be here.
So what are we going to hear from you tonight?
We're going to hear some acoustic versions of some Warshow Angels songs. So normally I play with a full band and everything. But tonight it's just going to be a stripped down set. I'm going to do a few songs, and I have them written down, and I'll look at it later. But I figured it out today. I go with what mood I'm in. So I wrote down some songs, and they're songs that are going to be on the record, which is a full-length Warshow Angels record, and one of them is also on Home on the Range, which is a farm animal sanctuary benefit with Yoko Ono and Joan Jett and Moby and the Pretenders, which is what I think we talked about last time.
Yes, the last time we interviewed you. Well, Neil, thank you so much for joining us and for being here and for everything that you've done to help us out. We really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad I could help out.
Yeah. And we'll see you inside.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
people what they want, even if it's all you've got, all you've got, all you've got. How's about we have some fun? Forget the churches, forget the steeple, forget the people, forget the people, forget the people. Oh, 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 oh. Forget the people. Can I get more track in the monitor? Everyone eats up the lies. All the good ones drop like flies, drop like flies, drop like flies. I wish I could end this fight, but they got churches and they got steeples, they got people, they got people, they got emo. They got evil. Oh, oh,
faces I see out there that I see at a protest. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I do. I go to protests. And I see a lot of you there. You know what I'm saying? And there's some of you in the house tonight that I can't even say your names because people are not supposed to know about you. No, listen, I'm serious. People are not supposed to know about you because in our movement, there's things that have to be done for the animals where we risk our freedom, where we risk our livelihood, where we risk our reputation. And there's some of you in the house tonight, which will remain nameless, that do that year after year. You know what I'm saying? So without any of you knowing who they are, let's just give them a big round of applause. Frankie, what up, boy? It's the incredible rhyme animal. Vegan gargle with bars, I'm still a cannibal. My ARAs, demons, the beast, not call me Hannibal. Here's the plan, get the clan, hit the rendezvous. It's party time, but tonight we are celebrating. Fighting and liberating, the order of operations is absolutely no patience for anybody. Abusing animals, also racist. Ever since I stepped in this game, all they do is hate this. Cause I'm in their faces, speaking up for the nameless. How could I ever change this? This is the time I change this. That boy Philly's just too real for the faces. Plus, check out the crew of light workers that I came with. Check out the crew of light workers that I came with. If you're wearing fur, we'll come for you like the hunter that came for the animal that trapped them and made them suffer. Trust me, I'm not a bluffer. Your ass better run for cover. You heartless psychotic, twisted minds. Swear them but say they love them. Dog fur tremble, then pick up their doors and hug them. The disconnection is so strong. I tell them save a life. They look at me like I'm so wrong. We either shame them or educate them. I can't relate to those with information that laugh at the facts we gave them. These humans make me feel like there's no hope. It's hard not to walk with my head down. I got examples to set now. Like no fur, no leather, no wool, no feathers, no silk, and all the cool disease. Yeah, the animal city. I spent my whole life in cages. I hardly got room to move. So I'm asking you, can I live? I'm sleeping and pissing shit until y'all decide that I'm food. This world is infested by sick people. Zombies that drink the milk of baby cats because it's legal. They make a living for you, that's why your health is looking lethal. That ain't your mama, not your milk, just let them be, yo. Freedom has a price, not everyone gets to pay it. Born in captivity, institutional slavery. Sentient beings with no choice, they're just property. Nervous systems with no voice, where's their lottery? I'm not stopped until I see some change. Not money, justice, there's heroes amongst us. This is community love. Get smug and we bring out the community thug. Catnip, that be the community drug. Facts watching, I think they got the community bug. Yeah man, it's getting real on the front lines. They can't stop us, they scatter clouds through a sunshine. Nothing more than a misspelled word in the punchlines. I hardly sleep, you bet I'm fatigued sometimes. I spend the night with the moon and call it a sunrise. I spend the day with my son and call that a gift. Then 5 hours banging a cowbell, I call that a shift. I'm focused, got my act together, I got a grip. Animals freezing and starting shit. But these animals are freezing and starving and get some shit. Rescue mission, gotta bring them somewhere where they can live. So I'm asking, can you find some compassion and start to think about your choices? Make the right ones and call that a flip. That's my time, I'm adios, animal live. In the animal city, I spent my whole life in cages, I hardly got room to move. So I'm asking you, can I live? I'm sleeping and pissing shit until y'all decide that I'm food. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. You guys could have been everywhere, anywhere, but you came here. You came to Brooklyn. You came to the knitting factory. You know what I'm saying? Love y'all, and thank you. Yeah, much love. And I see you guys on the battlefield. And if you aren't on the battlefield already, you should be. Maybe I'll see you next time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because we can't stop, just can't stop at veganism. We can't just stop at eating animals. You know what I'm saying? We gotta take it a step further. Because let's say you convert one vegan a week, which is amazing. Amazing to convert one vegan a week. But you know what? If you convert one vegan a week, that only means that you converted 50 plus vegans in 1 year. You know what that means? Does anybody know what that means?
What?
No. That means that you will never see a vegan world in your lifetime. Because there's 7 billion people on this planet. So it's not just enough to be able to convert one vegan per week. You gotta go hard. You gotta do whatever you can. You gotta take it to the next step. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, break molds. Take it further. Take it further. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. And that's it. Love you all. Peace. Can I live 2018? See you next year.